Hey folks, this is Ben Yessel. I'm making quite a few videos here before I go out and teach. Yeah, darn, sorry, train of thought here. I this video is more with regard to video game I've been working on again a bit more recently. I've played it and I've finished it many times before in the past, but I'm planning again on the enhanced edition, and I just what I did. It's always nice when you can go back to some saved file that's not too far away from what you did and finish it. This is about Baldur's Gate 2 getting Essential Edition. Sorry, Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. So yeah, I've just basically gone through. I went through Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, and I'm in the Throne of Ball with my character. I'm pretty familiar with this game. The enhanced edition has, some add-ons that are nice, but it really isn't. I don't know. Some there's little things here and there. I mean, there's a lot of little technical things that maybe are kind of nice to have, but a lot of their character add-ons and a lot of their things just weren't really all that amazing. But it's nice to play it again, and it's just been a while. So I was going to mention just a few things about more Baldur's Gate. Well, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 maybe in general, and just how influential it's been on my own view of video games. So before I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, this would have been when I was, 21, 21, 20, 21 and on, right? A while back. Before that time, I had only played, basically, I'd only played, as far as fantasy adventure of any sort, Loom and Mad Maze. And, oh yeah, also a little bit of Legend of Carandia as well. Those three. Legend of Carandia, the first one, but I never finished it. Loom and Mad Maze. The funny thing is, in all those three games when I was younger, I never really finished any of those three games. And so Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 was definitely one of the games I played when I was less familiar with games in general. Well, at least fantasy adventure games for PC. And also, I hadn't played very much the design or strategy games either. I played not Age of Empires. Yeah, something kind of like along those lines a little bit when I was younger as well. But there are a lot of games I just didn't play, and so I was very wowed by the game. It was just mind blowing. The scope of the game, how big it was, the character acting, the choices, the non-linear play, the scenery, the everything. I was just amazed by it. Nothing I'd ever played even came remotely close to it. There have been games that have kind of come close since then. That I liked Oblivion's and Morrowind's architecture, and just going wherever the devil you wanted to go just was not very meaningful after a while. And I liked Dragon Age's storyline type stuff, the original Dragon Age, and I liked Divinity: Original Sin's difficulty, even the puzzles and everything involved with that. Yeah, the nature of the combat it made you think a bit more. And Wheel of Time was a game I played not too long after Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And Wheel of Time, and then American McGee's Alice was quite a ways after that. But so there's been some great games. I've played many of the great games. I have my own preferences. It's helped to shape my preferences. I just love it when you take a game and whatever weapons you can get, you can use whatever spells you can get, try to use them. Some games like Loom kind of force you to use, try to do more with less, or they get you to, it's the same thing with, there's more Loom than Legend of Corrandia, but I love the games that involve puzzles, involving things like spells. That is just such an untapped thing, in my opinion, still. It's so untapped. There's so many things you could do with the nature of fantasy adventure puzzles that way. But if you're talking about weapons, you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of spells. That can get really complex. And, to be honest, with Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, there's so many different kinds of weapons and spells. And we think that that's a great thing, and it can be. But let's be honest, most of the weapons and spells we just never use. But it's also very accommodating because it lets you play more the way you want to play a game, in a way. But there's still things that you can't do in the Baldur's Gate games. You can do in like Divinity Original Sin, which is one of the reasons why people love Divinity Original Sin. You could do things, and I remember in Fable you could flatulate on people, and it was just a bit more funny that way. Fired people, but there's these kinds of. I'm sure there's games I play that I'm not including here, but Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 had a huge impact. It still does. Sarevok was very scary, and facing him and try to kill him and got your heart racing. Yeah, absolutely. So I beat 1 and 2. I really like by the way, the architecture of Soldan Esselar. The art there, it's just so beautiful. I could mention bucket loads about that one subject alone, but I don't like it in a game. I like it when you can pick your own characters, you can pick what the spells they memorize and what weapons, whatever you want to do. I love that about Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and I wish there were more games like that on the same scope or bigger. But what I never liked is, if you have, of course, like Geas, or I don't like it when you have to have party members that are forced out of your party, that you didn't expect to have forced out of your party. You have to back up to an earlier game, make sure you get all their stuff, or sometimes it all depends on the nature of how the character leaves the party. But that's something that's a workable situation with Baldur's Gate 2. You just, whatever. Sometimes you just have to move on. A lot of people didn't like how in Baldur's Gate 1, when you're importing your character from Baldur's Gate 1, you lose so much of your stuff. But Baldur's Gate 2 has a lot of stuff too. It's just that, there's so much to mention about this one subject. We want, as gamers, we want to be able to play games that are a wide variety of games. It's the same thing as cuisine, like eating. And people, we like variety, but we also know what we like more than what we don't like. But we're always trying to find out more what we really like. And so when we play a video game, we want to, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for something different, but something that we can really get into and really make a game with lots of choices. We can make the game with lots of choices can be much more appealing. It's more non-linear. We can kind of do different things at different times, in different ways. I also like, again, I like brainstorming games like that, and puzzles and things. Even if it never comes to fruition, it's just such a great thing for me mood-wise, and helps me in so many areas that I can't even begin to explain. To just brainstorm video game puzzles, because it's actually more of an intellectual thing than many people realize. A good video game puzzle, especially that's more intellectual in origin, in aspect, or it's problem solving, or it's like remember the Myst puzzles. It's awesome. You might it's like doing math. It doesn't do math, but it's like that's where a lot of the meat of the intellectual growth of games can be, if the more puzzle oriented they are. Or the more, along with the aesthetics and everything. The combat really is pretty mindless. Kind of. Kind of. The harder bosses and the harder battles are going to do something for you. They do. But it can also kind of zap your energy a little bit. So you only have so much energy during the day for hardcore gamers, since you have to budget your energy, and you have to learn how to do that a little bit. And that's not always easy. But that's some of the I don't know. It's again, I'm part of the video game generation. I'm not the TV generation, and I'm not necessarily the I'm not Generation Z, and so it's like, but yeah, I mean, I thought I mentioned just a few things about that subject, and anything else here. I'm not saying you have to have the enhanced edition. In fact, if anything, but I don't know. It's just that it's I want so bad for there to be a game again, like as good as Baldur's Gate is and was. All right, I know you guys. I probably keep hammering the subject, but I will. I just thought I'd mention it again. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Take care. Bye.